Reminder is the first in a book series that you may or may not have heard of, and that's okay because I am here to tell you on if it's good, bad, or somewhere in between. Who knows? The first book in the series, called Rewinder, is about this guy named Denny Younger who lives in an alternate universe than our own. How alternate, you might ask? Well, just imagine if we never declared our independence, George Washington was never president, and the United States of America was never born. We were still under British rule. It's not the Queen, it's the King now, and all these different things, like small little things that America has done by just by being America has never transpired. We never really advanced the way we did when we became America. It's just a different world altogether. That's where Denny lives. So Denny's about to graduate high school, except he does things a little bit differently. He has to take a standardized, mandatory occupational placement exam, which is exactly what it sounds like. He takes a test that tells him where he's going to work for the rest of his life. Not unlike The Giver or Divergent, so it does feel like young adult dystopian book right off the bat. He's terrified of the outcome of his test because his entire family before him has just worked at factories. Boring old factories, and he's pretty sure that's where he's going to end up working, and he hates that. He's planning to run away once he learns that he's going to be working at factories and just figure it out after that. But the results of his test doesn't say he's going to be a factory worker. In fact, they make him take the test again because they can't believe... That's weird, somebody knocked on the door. They make him take the test again because they can't believe the results they saw. He takes it again, same results. So they offer him something, a chance to be something, to be somebody. They give him the chance to be a verifier of historical records, or in layman's terms, a rewinder. He gets the ability to travel backwards in time, observe events in history, and report back to the Institute and tell them the history happened exactly as we thought it did. Exactly how the history book says. That's basically his job, just to sit back and watch as history unfolds and just enjoy being a time traveler. But his world is just as corrupt as ours when it comes to the government, it comes to politics, it comes to corporations. So when history doesn't happen the same way history book says it does, he still has to lie and say it does. I mean, it's part of the job, you know, you have to do what you have to do, so he does what he has to do. He messes something up somewhere in the dawn of time. He steps on a butterfly, not an actual butterfly, but you've heard the butterfly effect, and he causes a big ripple in time that just rips it apart. Travels back to his current time of 2015, his world is gone. The institute that he was working at, gone. The only thing that remains is the United States of America. So this book basically says that time travel is real, and that the reason why we have the United States of America is due to a mistake that a time traveler made in 2015. Everything else is fake. Well, not fake, but just not what you thought it would be. Personally, I think this is a very simple idea for time travel, yet kind of brilliant. It is. It's actually a very good idea that I could see made into a movie. The idea that our world, it's kind of the opposite of what you normally see with time travel. You normally see our world that we have now, and then somebody goes back and then screws it up, and then they have to fix it. This is a little different. They start off in a world that we've never seen, and then they create us, and then they have to decide on if they should fix it or leave it be, because this world is kind of beautiful in some respects. I mean, he meets people that are free to speak their minds. They are free to go after jobs that they want instead of getting picked one from birth, basically. This is a very free country in a lot of respects. He kind of likes it, but he does miss his home at the same time, so he has a very hard decision to make throughout this book. So I say that the concept is really good. It's a very good concept. It's a very fast read. I read it in less than a day, but the concept is what dragged me in. And I do want to read the next one soon, but it's written in a very rushed manner. I read it in half a day, not just because it was interesting, but because it doesn't really talk a lot about details, about how things feel. He mentions what he sees when he travels through time, but he doesn't mention what he hears, what he smells, what he tastes, anything that he really experiences. In fact, he talks a lot about how he travels through time and experiences all of these different things while training to be a time traveler. But he says it matter-of-factly. He says, I traveled through time and I witnessed this happen. I'm a reader here, and I want to experience it with the character. I want to experience him traveling through time and how crazy awesome that is. And, oh, he already did it, and we're just kind of left alone. It wants to focus more on the idea that 2015, our 2015, was created because of him, and what he needs to do about that from that point on, than it does focusing on how things feel, going through time, what that means on a deep emotional level. There's very little descriptions as far as that goes. It's one of those books that feels more like an outline than it does an actual book or novel. But I did like it. I actually did enjoy my experience while reading this book, which brings me to my rating. My rating of this book was actually 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. You can follow my account down below. Click the description. The writing isn't bad, it's just rushed. Take that as you will. Sustenance! Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. If you have time, go ahead and subscribe to my channel or leave me a comment. If you think there's a book I might enjoy or a book you might want me to review, put it down in the comments. I'll take a look at it. I'll consider it. And I'll see you next week. And remember, if you're bored, read something.
Poopy-doo.